Welcome to Marathon Motivations. I'm your host, Thomas Smith. As I set out to complete my 7th Boston Marathon since my paralyzing injuries, I've learned that every person who participates has a different reason for doing so. For the 129th running of Boston, this couldn't be more true, and I'm so thrilled to share with you the stories of 4 remarkable and inspiring individuals. Here are their Marathon Motivations. Navy SEALs have a well-earned reputation as some of America's best and toughest warriors, so it's no surprise that many current and former SEALs run the Boston Marathon each year. However, one marathon team, started by a group of SEALs, runs for something much bigger than themselves, a charity called One Summit, which has a highly unusual model.
One Summit's mission is to build resilience, self-confidence, courage in kids battling cancer, but the whole community. We do that by partnering them with Navy SEALs and building resilience through a day of rock climbing.
And the one main ingredient here is resilience. In order to make it through SEAL training, in order to be a good SEAL, in order to be a good teammate, you've got to be resilient. One of the things that really is important for anybody that has cancer, especially for children that have cancer, is to be resilient. And so when Adam came up with the idea of, what's the one thing that you can mend these two together, it's the common trait really is resilience. And that's what we bring to the kids, and the kids actually bring it to us as well.
Adam founded One Summit after losing his mom to cancer and retiring from the Navy. And as you might imagine, his idea of SEALs and pediatric cancer patients rock climbing was originally a tough sell.
I think early on in the days, especially talking with a lot of the hospitals and the foundations, they're like, I don't get it. I don't get how you're going to take SEALs and kids with cancer and merge them together. I don't see the synergy. But then when you're there, it makes all the sense in the world.
I was at the first Climb for Challenge back in 2014, and I remember it was probably the most amazing event that I've ever been to, actually, because they have all the SEALs, all of us were here like in a gauntlet, welcome on board. It was a big cheering event. And then I realized actually throughout the event that I think I probably got more out of it than the kid I was with.
Of course, running a charity that has grown to have multiple chapters across the country requires a lot of time, people, and money, which is where the Boston Marathon comes in.
The Boston Marathon has been an incredible fundraiser for us. I think we've been doing it for about 7-8 years now, and the runners like Gabriel Gomez and his daughter Olivia, like going out and doing that, like that has a tremendous impact, and it's something that's super critical for support of our organization.
I'm at the start line in Hopkinton of the Boston Marathon. I'm sporting, fortunately, I have a good One Summit wool cap on. It's a nice balmy 20 degrees. I plan to run into Wellesley and a little bit further into Wellesley for a training run.
There's a handful of us that are running for One Summit, and One Summit does a great job. I mean, we're all connected, and we've got training programs. They're all shared. And a marathon it's a team effort, right? It's my family's very supportive. One Summit's very supportive, but the team part of it is what keeps you motivated and gets you going throughout the whole training, because actually I think the training is as hard or harder than the marathon itself.
We got a little cheer section with the kids come out. We got the posters and the big cheer section that we have usually about mile 17 when they're digging deep, and it's a great spot to be, and I think they're happy to see us at that mile.
It's probably the most unlikely team you've ever heard of. Navy SEALs, pediatric cancer patients, and the Boston Marathon. Yet, when you put it all together, it works perfectly.
And I've been fortunate to be involved with a number of charities and nonprofits and all that, but I will say wholeheartedly that there's probably nothing more impactful or more emotional or more rewarding than being involved with One Summit.
Not every story ends well, of course, right? We've had a lot of tragedy internally, not only on the SEAL side, but obviously all the kids battling. So I think there's just an amazing amount of mutual respect that happens between these two different groups. They get their superhero for the day, and we feel like we get our superhero for the day. something beautiful happens, it's hard to describe in words unless you see it there in person.